Good morning. I think the van's fine just like this. Who needs it to be built out with a comfy bed? When you're this tired from changing your spark plugs and brakes, you can sleep anywhere. Just kidding. I couldn't sleep in here because it's disgusting. So we gotta do something about that today. And it's supposed to be another beautiful day out. So it's a little chilly now, puffer jacket, but we're prepping for the warm weather that's coming. So I got to figure out how to take that middle console apart. I was able to like strong arm it out of there. There's two clips at the very base of it that clip it to the floor. And I was barely able to get my hands up there to unlatch it. There's no way I'm gonna be able to relatch it. And I can't figure out how to separate it. It looks like it should be fairly simple. There's probably a hidden bolt. There's always a hidden bolt. Okay, so yeah, it wasn't, well, they weren't really secret bolts, but I was missing one. There's 4 bolts that hold the front cup holder on. I had these 2 bottom ones out, and I just did not see these ones up here. It's just the angle of where the cup holder was. I just had to get down and look and, you know, actually do a thorough job, which I usually do, but this stuff always happens. But anyways, getting the center console nice and cleaned up. This is the section that actually will be underneath the radio. You never see it, but dirt builds up. So I'm glad that came off, because as much as I like getting my hands dirty, wrenching on cars and stuff, I don't like them to remain dirty, so I'll usually be the first one cleaning them down with that orange gritty stuff. And living with this much dirt around me, no bueno. New problem. Now the floor is so nice and shiny and clean, I'm not gonna want to step on it. But I don't have a choice. It's just one of those things, right? All right, so now the actual metal part of the driving area is what I'm gonna clean. And I did a little bit of it yesterday. I found better than like wasting spray and rags, since there's so much dirt and crap built up, sorry. I've got a little like nylon brush, and I just scrub that. It comes off, and I just run the shop vac at the same time and just kind of suck it up as I go. So that's the next step. Weather's good enough. No more puffer jacket, Hawaiian shirts all the way. And this is what we're gonna be wearing every single day from here on out. In a perfect world, because if it gets cold. Anyway, that, pretty good. Whoop. It ain't perfect, but it's much cleaner than it was. I am happy with that. So let's see about getting that floor back in. Learning. It's all good. Snap right back in. It's still the cleaner. I mean, it's not really cleaner. It's kind of like a wax meant for windows. It's the only thing I had on hand. I think when I go out, I'll pick, before I put the seats in, I'll buy a bottle of other cleaners, give this one more go over. I mean, I know it's just gonna get dirty again with my feet and whatnot, but it's gonna be my home. I want it to be as clean as possible off the hop. Thank you very much. So that's the plan. Take a little break, run to the store, and then clean a little bit more, throw the seats back in, and then get to the belly of the beast. Okay, so the day got away on me a little bit, as it usually does. So I only got the front area cleaned and the seats put back in, which is actually okay, because I'm probably going to do another small dump run before I actually clean this interior. I gotta get rid of the floor and stuff. And the alternative is slice it up into little pieces that can go in the black bin. Absolutely not. Probably just do another rip this week out of the dump and get rid of it. And then we will start cleaning that. But everything's back in. The van has actually been a bit immobile for about 4 days. And it has not been driven since the brakes were done. So let's give it a shot, shall we? Make sure my emergency brake is off. Oh gosh, okay. Let's see, how's the brake pedal feel already? It still feels spongy. What is that about? Okay, well, let's see what's up. Away we go. Just waiting for stuff to fall off. Let's see. Oh no, baby! Those brakes are so much better now that. Whoa. Let's see. Okay, one more chance. Not one more chance, one more try. Buddy! We got stumping power. Oh, it feels so good! And I mean, I'm assuming the spark plugs are all fine because you fire it up and there's nothing weird happening. Oh, it sounds weird when there's nothing in it. I gotta get that insulation in. Whoa, I'm so excited. Installation is next. Installation. Shut up, Matt. You can hear everything. Yeah. Oh, well, that's no good. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so, I mean, that just goes to show how much, like, I saved $575. That's not including any sort of tax that would have been added for labor on spark plugs and brakes alone. Now, I know not everybody has the means or even the interest of maintaining their own vehicle. I get it. Some people, they're too busy, they don't care, or they don't have, the tools or a place to do it. But I'm telling you right now, if you have the opportunity to save yourself a little bit of money by wrenching on your own car, that is something I absolutely 100% believe in. It's just a satisfaction of doing the job almost more than anything else, because let me tell you, brakes on this thing, not easy. I mean, they can be not easy on any vehicle, for sure. But the smaller the vehicle, the easier it will be, because all of your hardware will be smaller. You'll be able to get in there easier and whatnot. But it was, I don't want to say miserable, but it was hard work. And I have no interest in doing them again right away. I'll do my brakes again when they need to be done. But it was hard, bloody work. I love wrenching on cars like that. I have never delved too much into the engine side of things. That's where it can get really complicated and you can probably easily screw stuff up. But when it comes to that regular maintenance stuff, oil's nothing. If you've never changed your oil on your car, do it on your next go around. Look, everything's online, look up what you need and just do it.
Do it! Just do it!
If you don't have a place to do it, you've got a buddy or some sort of family member that will have a space for you to do that. Change your oil, because that's the one thing people neglect first and foremost, right? And that's what will actually cause the most problems. Sure, you neglect your brakes, you won't have much stopping power, they'll squeak, they'll be obnoxious. But your oil, you don't take care of that, it can destroy your engine. And I know I'm not probably going to change anybody's minds. If you just take your car into the dealership and have the dealership do it for you, that's fine too, absolutely. I'm just saying, if you have any interest, any inkling whatsoever to change your oil, do it! It's so much fun. Some people will do it and they'll be like, that sucked! And I get that too. It's just me. But man, I'm so happy that all this basic maintenance work is done, because now I can start building this sucker. Oh, it feels so good. So I don't think I'm ever actually gonna get to clean this van out. One thing after another keeps happening. So I took the van for that rip last night, and after I stopped filming, this god-awful noise started emanating from this tire, right? Rear passenger. And it started to stink, like a really bad burning smell. So I know sometimes with new brakes, the burning smell can be kind of normal. But anyways, got it back here, jacked it up, took the tire off, realized I had installed the hardware the wrong way, like the brake pads. So they've got these little clips on them that need to always go at the bottom. I had actually reversed them. The pads are exactly the same size, so you can install them on either side, you know, kind of like the inside and the outside. But there is a right way and a wrong way to do it. So that kind of scored my rotor. We're gonna see if it's salvageable. I flipped them around and then went for another drive. But the problem is that this caliper, it's far too tight. Like to get it back on right from the first time I did it, I had to coax it on with the hammer, and that just isn't right. And now I think what's happening is, I hope it's not the knuckle that's bent. Hopefully it's just the bracket that's bent, and it's holding the pads against the rotor all the time, and it's actually causing the rotor to burn and the pads to burn and everything. So it's been sitting overnight. I just picked up a new caliper, so that's what we're gonna put on today, and hopefully that solves our problem. This is part of owning a used vehicle. Okay, so everything's off, cleaned the rotor up with some more brake clean, good gosh. Let's see if we can get in here. This is the new caliper. I got new hardware installed as well, so we're gonna get the brake pads in there and then see how tight it is. And then we gotta switch the actual brake line from the old caliper to the new one, which means I gotta bleed the brakes again when I'm done. So let's see how it goes. Brake fluid now. Where did I put everything I need? So this bolt on the brake line, it's called a banjo bolt, and on this Chevy Express it's an 11 millimeter. So I'm gonna pull that out, brake fluid will come out, and then this has to get transferred to this one back here, which you probably can't see, but yeah, that's what we're doing. The Leatherman came in handy. On either side of the banjo bolt are these little copper crush washers. Good Lord. There you go. And this one clearly got warped. It wasn't like a circle anymore. It was kind of like a soft triangle around the bolt, so it just wasn't sliding off, which wasn't letting me get the bolt out of the actual brake line here. So yeah, it's okay. New one came with two new ones, so I just use a Leatherman to crack it off. Easy peasy. Okay, so now to install this new banjo bolt, see, two new copper crush washers. So one on the top of the banjo bolt, that'll go through here. The other one's gotta go on the other side of the bolt. Man, that auto exposure is super obnoxious. Right in there. So I'm already feeling more confident about these brakes because the caliper just went on over the brake pad super easy. No coaxing with a hammer. So that's a telltale sign of a caliper probably being shot. You know what? I honestly probably did it when I was taking it off because this one was so stubborn. I can't remember if it was the brackets that held the caliper onto the bracket, or the bolts that hold the caliper onto the bracket, or if it was the bolts that hold the bracket to the knuckle but I had to get my breaker bar to here and stand on it to break the bolts loose. So very easily could have messed a lot of stuff up. Since it was so frustrating when I was initially doing this with Chris, I never got any close-ups of the whole like process of it. So let me see how this looks. So there's a brake caliper. This up here, this guy right here, that's the bleeder valve. All right, it's a 10 millimeter. I just loosened it, so now it's open. There's no fluid in this caliper at all right now, obviously, because it's brand new. And I've got it attached to a 1/4 inch hose, right? This is gonna go up and into my Gatorade bottle. And this is all of the old brake fluid I have, or got out of the system, I mean. So the end of the hose is actually submerged in that brake fluid, so it shouldn't be sucking air back through the line. So now it's just a matter of getting in the cab and pumping the brakes a few times to flush all the air out and get fluid running through this hose. Yeah. Oof. Okay, this is all I can do. Let's see. La-di-da-da-da.
Nothing can touch the divine I have inside of me. There may be moments in time when it gets hard to say, but I can never be blind to my own
Let's give it a shot and take that old caliper back, because there was a $76 core charge on that son of a bee. I don't have my glasses. Oh, that's better. So last night when I was driving around, I didn't go very far. I went to the old place and Safeway. But both times when I got there, the brake was smoking. You actually have to look it up. Like if you just look up, oh, my brake's smoking after a brake job, it's like, yeah, it's normal. But you gotta look up like burn marks on my rotor or scour marks on my rotor or pads constantly touching my rotor. And then they'll be like, oh, they weren't bedded properly or there's something else wrong. Because I mean, it might get. I don't smell anything. Definitely heard stuff though. Now I'm just paranoid. All right, I guess we go to Auto Value and just see how worse it gets or better it gets. I mean, whatever, even if it's still broken, nothing's broken forever. Everything can be replaced. Just have to sell body parts on the black market. Okay, so one thing I've already noticed. I keep thinking it's smoking, but I think it's just my exhaust. There's a noise when I'm driving. When I brake, it stops. So that leads me to believe that something is touching the rotor. Okay, so it's definitely a situation I'm gonna have to monitor, but I got back to the garage, ripped the tire off again, took the caliper apart, took the pads out, and gave everything a really good scrub down with brake clean, sort of filed some janky looking edges on the pads. I cannot pinpoint exactly what it was that would have been causing the noise that I was hearing. On this initial test drive now, it appears to have solved the problem. Like that noise is no longer there, which is great, but this has definitely left me in a situation where I don't want to, well, let's not count my chickens before they're hatched, but it's like, I'm just going to remain cautiously optimistic, knowing full well that I may have to rip everything apart again to clean it. But right now, everything's sounding great, which, if I want to take the complete positive route on this, that means I can move on to the next step. Okay, I was going to say insulation, but I still gotta do that dump run and clean the cargo area. But hey, it's progress. So it's been a couple days. Took the van for a long drive yesterday out to the dump and then the long way back around on the ring road. Brake made noise for about, I wanna say 2 kilometers after about already driving for 10 minutes. And then it went away. So it seems to be solved. I'm super happy that that's no longer an issue. That's always worrisome when you do your own maintenance. You're like, oh my gosh, what did I screw up? You know, when you take it to a professional and they install everything the way it's supposed to be properly to their specs and standards. And then there's a noise and they can confidently say, oh yeah, that's normal, it will go away in time. That's completely different than you doing it yourself, hearing a noise and being like, well, maybe it'll go away on its own. That was a good learning experience for me to learn the all the bolts and the brakes of this vehicle. I definitely own it now, having wrenched on it that hard, which I've said before, really, really love and highly advise everybody to do it. But yeah, now we can move on to the actual van build, which is going to be super fun, and I'm so excited to get started. So yeah, that's all coming up. So until the next one, guys, just be happy, be creative, be yourself, and most importantly, just be positive. I'll see you in the next one.